So chapter 2, audit strategy, audit planning and audit program. Here there is essay called 300. Okay, so essay 300 is planning and audit of financial statement. What is the objective of this essay? It is to plan the audit so it will be performed in an efficient manner. So involvement of key engagement team members. Can we involve as the engagement team, engagement partner and the other key members of the engagement team shall be involved in planning the audit, and in that case what like they involve no, it draws on their experience and insight and enhances the effective and efficiency of the planning process, and draws on their experience and insight and enhances the effectiveness and efficiency of the planning process. Discussion of elements of planning with the entities management. Should we discuss? Yes. Okay. And until the auditor may decide to discuss the elements of planning with the entities management to facilitate the conduct and management of the audit engagement. To facilitate the conduct and management of the audit engagement, and while discussing, so the care should be care is required in order not to compromise the effectiveness of the audit, and the overall audit strategy and the audit plan shall remain the auditor's responsibility. The first one, he may decide and facilitate that may facilitate the conduct and the management of the audit engagement, and while telling he has to take care, the care is required in order not to compromise the effectiveness of the audit. And the last one, overall strategy and audit plan is a auditor's responsibility. What are the benefits of planning in audit of financial statement? So it involves establishment of overall audit strategy for the engagement and developing audit plan. So what are the benefits, like how it helps in several ways? Okay, first one, helping the auditor to appropriate attention to the important areas. Next, resolve the potential problems on the timely basis, organize and manage the audit engagement in effective and efficient manner, and assisting in selection of engagement team members, like appropriate levels and their capabilities and competence can be taken, and direction and supervision of engagement team and review of their work, and assisting where applicable the coordination of work done by the auditor of components and experts. So there is 6 benefits. First one, attention to important areas, resolve the potential problems on timely basis, organize and manage the audit engagement so it can be performed in efficient and effective manner, assisting in selection of audit team with their appropriate level of capability and competence, and facilitating the direction, supervision and review of engagement team and review of the work, and assisting where applicable, like coordination of work done by auditor and the experts. Okay, next, planning process. It consists of 2 things: preliminary engagement activities and planning activities. Preliminary engagement activities, simple thing, performing audit SA 220, SA 220 and SA 210. First one, performing audit procedures required by SA 220, that is quality control of an audit of financial statement regarding continuance. Okay, remember, continuance of client relationship and specific audit engagement, evaluating compliance with ethical requirements including independence according to SA 220, and establishing and understanding the terms of audit engagement as required by SA 210. Performing the engagement at the beginning of the current stage, assisting in auditing, evaluating and medicine. So these are just examples. Okay, why I have to do preliminary engagement activities. The auditor maintains the necessary independence and the ability to perform the engagement. There is no issues with management integrity that may affect in the willingness to continue the engagement. There is no misunderstanding with the client as per the terms of audit. What are the 3 examples? First one, independence and ability to perform and management integrity may affect. There is no issues. There is no misunderstanding with the client in the terms of engagement. Okay, planning activities, that involves 4 things. First one, establishment of overall strategy, development of audit plan, update and change the overall strategy and audit plan necessary during the course of audit, and auditor shall plan the nature, timing and extent of direction and supervision of engagement team members and review of the work. These 4 things just remember. Okay, next, nature and extent of planning activities. So nature and extent depends on these things: size and complexity of the entity, the key engagement members ka previous experience, and changes in any circumstances. So what is overall strategy? Overall audit strategy is a sets the scope, timing and direction of the audit, and guides the development of more detailed audit plan. Okay, so it sets the scope, timing and direction of the audit and guides the development of more detailed plan. So these 2, what they have asked. Okay, these four things they have asked. Okay, so I don't like, probably this time they'll ask the deeper one. So establishing the overall strategy. First one, CS, ROETE, and PEA, NET of resources. First one, CS, characteristics and scope. Identify the characteristics and engagement that define its scope. Next, RO, reporting objectives. Ascertain the engagement report to planning and planning the timing of audit and the nature of communication required. And CSROET, engagement team efforts, that is consider the factors that auditors professional judgment are required in significant directing the team efforts, and consider the results. If CSROET and ET of resources, there is an ET of PEA, this is PEA, consider the results of preliminary engagement activities and NAT of resources. Okay, so when it comes to the first one, CS, remember, applicable financial reporting. You have to take care of these many things. There are characteristics, we can say. Some characteristics are applicable financial reporting framework that is applicable to the entity, and nature of the business segment and auditor, and specialized knowledge, and industry specific reporting requirements by industry regulators, and expected use of audit evidence in the previous audit. CS में this four आता है. Okay, RO में RO, remember the timetable. First, entities timetable, entities meeting to discuss the nature, timing, extent of audit work with the management, and discussion with the management regarding the time and type and timing of reports issued, including the audit report, and discussion with the management regarding the communication on the status of audit work throughout the engagement, and expected timing and nature of communication among the engagement team members, including the nature, timing, extent of meeting and timing of the audit work performed. Okay, then ETE, like engagement team efforts. In this, volume of transaction may determine whether it efficient for audit to rely on the internal control. Significant industry development such as changes in regulatory and reporting requirements, significant changes in financial reporting framework, and changes in accounting standards, and significant or relevant developments in the legal environment affecting the thing. First one, CS में applicable FRF will come. CS RO में entities timetable meetings. Here it is mainly of time. Okay, and here it is financial reporting framework, nature of the business, industry regulators, and previous audit. And the next one, engagement team efforts में whatever these three things are changes: industry development, financial reporting framework, and legal environment. The first one is volume of transaction, how big it is, and this two row method you will study. And audit plan. Okay, last topic, audit plan. As per SA 300, audit plan includes the description of these three things. The first one, nature and timing, extent of risk assessment procedures determined under SA 315, nature, timing, extent of other audit procedures at assessment level determined in 330, and other audit procedures that are required to be carried so that engagement team complies the SS. So planning of an auditor's risk assessment occurs early in the audit process. Okay, this one, even kids know. However, the nature, timing, extent of specific audit depends on the risk assessment. Oh bro, they have thought a new thing. Okay, changes in planning decisions during the audit. So what if there is a changes, how you do? The audit shall update the change and change the overall strategy and the audit plan necessary during the audit. It may result in, because of these three things: unexpected event, changes in the conditions, and audit evidence obtained from the result of audit procedures. Okay, the auditor may need to modify the audit plan, planned timing, extended further audit procedure based on the revised consideration of assessed risk, and there may be case information of audit attentions that differs significantly from the important available and audit procedures. Example is existing audit may contradict with the test of details. Okay, direction, supervision, and review. So auditors shall plan the nature, timing, extent of direction, supervision, review of team members, and review of their work. What and all auditor shall plan, simply thing. Audit shall plan nature, timing, extent of direction, supervision of engagement team, and review their work. So while planning, he has to take care of these four things. First one, size and complexity of the entity, area of the audit, assessed risk of material misstatement, capability, competence of the individual team members performing the audit. Okay, so this question they have asked in Jan attempt, so I don't think they'll ask once again. So this is important. Planning is a continuous process. Oh wait, there is more again. Planning is a continuous process. Planning is planning is not a discrete phase of an audit, but rather it is a continual iterative process. Iterative means repeating. So planning is not a, it is an iterative process that often begins shortly after the completion of previous audit and continues till the completion of the audit engagement. However, while planning, the timing of certain activities should be taken prior to the performance of other audit procedure. For example, planning includes items that are includes activities that need to consider prior to the audit identification and risk assessment as per material misstatements, such as 1 2 3 4 5 things. The analytical procedures applied in risk assessment procedures, the obtaining a general understanding of legal and regulatory framework and applicable to the entity, and determining the materiality involvement of experts and performance of other risk assessment process. See, planning is a continuous process. So before planning, you have to take care of these 5 things. First one, analytical procedures to be applied in risk assessment procedures, and obtaining the general understanding of legal and regulatory network. Then third one, determining the materiality involvement of experts and any other risk assessment procedures. In additional consideration in case of initial audit engagement, so it will be same only, okay, but before planning it should be expanded. However, in case of initial audit engagement, auditor need to expand the planning activities because of it does not have ordinary previous audit experience with that entity, so it should consider when planning recurring audits. So for initial audit engagement, the auditor may consider establishing overall strategy including these 3 things, okay. While planning, he can include these 3 things. First one, same, the 320. Here 320 before it was continuance, here it is acceptance of client relationship and specific to audit. Unless prohibited by law or regulation, he can talk with arrangements can be made with the predecessor auditor. Like he can he can review the predecessor auditor's working papers, and in case you can go for other procedures required by firm system of audit control for initial engagement. For example, overall strategy by senior partner before starting the audit. And the last topic is audit program. So what is audit program? Audit program consists of series of verification procedures to be applied to financial statement and accounts of company given by the company for obtaining sufficient appropriate audit evidence to enable the audit to express an informed opinion on such statement. And just remember the first line, series of verification procedures to be applied where financial statement and an account is given by the company for the purpose of obtaining sufficient appropriate audit evidence to enable the audit to express an informed opinion. Okay, done. Can one audit program be practicable for all the business? No. So because not practicable for all the business, so all business are not same. They may vary on size, nature and capital raised, and even by internal control and different laws and regulations and other parameters also. In some there may be formal and working internal control, and in some there may be no internal control at all. So applicability of different laws and regulation may differentiate the scope of timing of the auditor, scope and services of the auditor. Because the reasons for variation mentioned above is because of these reasons it is not possible to develop one program applicable for all business in all circumstances. So every audit program must have a details of natures of work to be done, and as per the nature, size and other parameters of the business. This will help in saving time and special matters and situation will not be overlooked. This will help saving time and special matters and situation will not be overlooked. Okay, framing an audit program. First, while framing, just remember mu, that is minimum essential work. Framing, you remember mu. Okay, to start with, an auditor having a regards to nature, timing, extent, composition of the business. Now, he shall depend upon the internal control and giving the scope of work, and he should frame the program which should aim at providing minimum essential work, which may termed as standard program. So first, while framing, he should first take care of, he should first see the nature, composition of the business, which I have already seen, and go for internal control and frame of program which gives minimum essential work. As experience is gained by carrying out the work. Now, the program may be altered and taken care of situations which were left out originally, and found relevant during the concern. And similarly, if the work originally performed proves beyond the doubt be unnecessary or relevant, it may be dropped also. And the The assistant engaged in the job should be encouraged to keep an open mind beyond the program given to him, and he should be instructed to note and report the significant matters coming to his notice to his seniors or to partners proprietor of the firm. See, framing an audit. First one, he should first see the nature, timing, and nature, size, and composition of the business and internal control and scope of work, and should frame an audit program that gives minimum essential work. And while carrying out the business, you can leave out, can be, like whatever you left now, you can take it now. I mean, that is found relevant later. And if you have any doubt now, like if you think that some steps are unnecessary, that can be dropped also. And the assistant engagement team member should be now, he should keep an open mind. And if he has if he should be instructed saying that if you have to note and report the significant matters coming to his notice. Done. Periodic, this is asked. Constructing an audit program. This one is important. I have tried to understand this so many times, but I couldn't. But this time, Romit, you are going to get it. Constructing an audit program. While developing an audit program, no, he may include that relying of certain intervals and controls effective and efficient way to conduct his activities. However, the auditor may not to rely on the internal control where there are more efficient ways in obtaining audit evidence. Wait, shit, yeah. The auditor should also consider the timing of procedures, coordination of any assistance expected, and the availability of assistants that are involvement. I think so. While constructing an audit, he should first take care of these three things: timing of the procedures, coordination of assistants expected from the client, and availability of assistants involved. So after that, so has the auditor normally has flexibility in deciding when to perform the audit. But for the purpose of construction of program, these 7 things have to be kept in mind. First one, scope and limitation of the assignment. The written audit program should be setting for the procedures and evidence reasonably available, and identify the best evidence, and the steps and procedures which are useful, and objectives for areas and sufficient details, and consider all the possibilities of error. Coordinate the procedures that to be applied to related item. First one, scope and timing, scope and limitations. Okay, then written objectives should be set for the procedures, and coordinate the procedures related to items, should take care of possible errors, and evidence that may reason available should be identified and taken. The best evidence should be deriving the necessary satisfaction, and steps and procedures which are useful in accomplishing verification purpose. And the next one is include an audit objective for each area and official details. Okay, audit program to provide audit evidence. So it is just a professional judgment, the knowledge, experience of the audit, training, knowledge, and experience will design these things. For example, in case of cash counting the cash is necessary. In case of pledge, in case something is pledged to the bank, then banker certificate is required. Advantages of audit. Okay, so it provides assistance in carrying out the audit in total, clear set and instruction. It is essential in major audit for providing total perspective and how it to be performed. Selection of assistance of job and capability becoming work and rationally defined, segregated, and auditing without a written program may be risk in overlooking of some, and a structured program will reduce the danger. And assistant putting signature, he accepts the responsibility for the work carried out by them individually, and if the work done may be traced back by the assistant, work done may be traced back to the assistant, and the principal can control the progress of various audit in hand by examination of audit program initiated, and assistants deputed to the work for completed work. It serves as a guide for audits for succeeding year, and a proper drawn audit serves as evidence for any charge and negligence being brought up by the auditor, and consider establishing rational skill and care of professional judgment. See, there are 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 things. Okay, try to remember. First one, it assists carrying clear set of instructions. Okay, then in case of major audit, total perspective will be perform uh, total perspective of work to be performed. Selection of assistance becomes easy because of becomes basis on the capability becomes easier, and it will be segregated, and without audit program will risk on overlooking of records, and the structured program reduces this danger. And the assistants now, by putting this signature, they accept the responsibility for their work carried out by them, and work done may be traced back to, and the auditor can control the progress of various audits in the examination and by examination of audit programs, and even the completed work. And it serves as a guide for audit for succeeding year, and a well drawn up audit program serves as evidence that there is any event of any charge of negligence being brought up against the auditor. And consider value and expecting other things. 4 disadvantages, bro, and the last two topic. The 4 disadvantages: the first one, the work may become mechanical, and it may be carried out without any understanding the objectives of the whole audit scheme, and it's tend to be rigid and inflexible, and the inefficient workers may take shelter. And the last one, hard and fast audit program may kill the initiative of efficient and enterprising agent. 4 disadvantages: first one, the work may become mechanical, and audit program may be carried out without any understanding of the whole audit scheme, and the program offers tend to be rigid and inflexible. So in that case, something will happen. And inefficient assistants may take a shelter behind the program. They may say there is no instruction given about this matter and all. And even the hard and fast audit program may kill the initiative of efficient and enterprising assistants. So quality control for audit work, delegation and supervision of audit work. An audit is a complex task involving number of people, so it may depend on assistants, technical experts, and even the other auditors. In case of assistants, he has to direct, supervise, and review the work delegated to them. In case of other auditors, he has to obtain reasonable assurance, perform by them adequate purpose of the audit, and the objective of the auditor is to implement the control procedures that provide the reasonable assurance. The first one, that he complies with professional standards and regulatory and legal requirement, and the auditor report shall be issued. The auditor's report is issued appropriate in circumstances, and the responsibility to express an audit is on financial, and its accountability is always to be auditor. Okay, is here call it for a delegation. What about the delegation? He may include number of people like assistants, technical experts, and other auditors. In case of assistants, he has to direct, supervise, and review their work. In case of other auditor, he has to obtain their assurance that his work is adequate for the purpose of auditor, and while going for the reasonable assurance, the other auditor has to comply with the professional standards and legal and regulatory requirement, and whatever report should be assured, it should be appropriate. And the last, the response to the responsibility to express an opinion on the financial statement and its accountability, it's always of the auditor. Thank you. Done with chapter 2.